That issue with masks is people want to fire me or put me in jail for what I've done, namely follow the science. Right. I could go the next half an hour going through each and every point that they make. It's preposterous.
Just since you mentioned Dr. Fauci again, can you imagine any circumstance where President Biden would ever fire him?
No.
Many Republican lawmakers are eager to have Dr. Fauci return to Capitol Hill and testify. Harris?
Lucas, thank you very much. Critics are hitting back at Dr. Fauci's remarks. One tweeted, "Only a sociopath narcissist speaks of themselves in the third person." Another writes, "Fauci comes off like an angry, petty tyrant." Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee, is with me now. Good to have you on the program, Senator.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Harris.
First of all, how serious and what level of effectiveness is this discussion on Capitol Hill among senators about Fauci leaving?
It is a very effective discussion. And as you can see, the American people who have been so heavily impacted by this virus are wanting some answers. When you look through this correspondence in these emails from Dr. Fauci to his staff, his concerns over gain-of-function research, his tendency to work with Mark Zuckerberg to create a PR campaign where he would cherry pick facts and details, the way he has been for things and then against things, the way Facebook worked to silence any post that had to do with the lab leak theory. Then you put that, Harris, with what we already know. We know the Chinese Communist Party locked down Hubei province. If you were from Wuhan, you could not go somewhere else in China, but you could go to the Wuhan International Airport and fly to the U.S. or the EU. We know that the WHO and our diplomatic scientists were blocked from going in that lab. We know that Dr. Fauci had concerns about the money that his agency sent to that lab for COVID research or coronavirus research. We know the concerns about the gain-of-function research. These are the things that are known. And then you look at his actions. He is doing with big media and Chuck Todd exactly what he did with big tech and Mark Zuckerberg in trying to build out a PR campaign, claim that if you say anything about him, you are attacking science. And it is so interesting because I'm one of those. I stand with science and getting to the bottom of what science would tell us about this, the type research they were doing. Why were they trying to cover it up? These are answers that we have 3.5 million people on the face of the earth that lost their lives. We have hundreds of thousands of families that were affected by death, by illness, by loss of livelihood. We have precious children that lost a year of school and socialization and now have emotional problems. Harris, the people have seen their tax dollars used, and now they have questions about how it was used, who benefited from this, and why is Dr. Fauci protecting the Wuhan lab and the CCP?
You are going back and showing us the facts that were coming in during what you might call the storm, the worst parts of the pandemic. And maybe they went by the wayside because people couldn't concentrate on them. But when you talk specifically, as you did, with the facts about that lab, where does that put Dr. Fauci? Just real quickly, we're going to move on, but I'm just curious. Fire, resign, I mean, where does that put him and where does that put President Biden?
Yes. What Dr. Fauci should do is say, I'm going to step away while this is investigated. That would be the right thing to do. He is a bureaucrat who has been caught. He's dug a hole. President Biden should say, we're going to hold the Chinese Communist Party, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and Dr. Fauci responsible while we figure out what happened, because we do not ever, ever want to go back through this again.